Welcome to my craft table. Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this card. Okay, let's get started. It's using the Colorful Seasons. I'm going to be using both of these and the sentiment, Thinking of You. I'm also going to be using the coordinating dies, the Four Seasons dies. I'm going to be using the leaf and the branch. I'm going to be using the Subtles embossing folder. I have a piece of, forgot to bring this one out, so let me grab it. This is early espresso. That is to cut the branch out with. I have a piece of white, which is 3 3/4 by 5. That one will run through the Subtles embossing folder. And then I have a card base, which is my standard 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4 1/4. With a piece of scrap white to stamp all of our leaves on. And the first thing I'm going to do, and color-wise for inks, I have Real Red, Pumpkin Pie, Pineapple Punch, Mossy Meadow, Granny Apple Green, Bermuda Bay, and Memento. Okay, and I'm also going to be using my scoring tool today. So first thing I want to do is score the front of the card. So I'm going to bring the card in and I'm going to score a line 1/8 inch from all 4 of the edges. Actually, I want to score it on the other side because I want the raised part to be on the top. So I'm going to score 1/8 inch there, and 1/8 inch here. And then I'm going to turn it, and 1/8 inch from this edge. It's hard to see it this way. Let's turn it this way. It's easier to see the thing. 1/8 inch from that edge, and 1/8 inch from this edge. Okay, when you turn it over, you'll notice that gives a little bit of added something to your card. It's just a very simple way to add a little bit of something extra. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. Alright, now we'll go ahead and bring in the die cutting machine for a minute. We're going to run that one piece through the embossing folder. And for this I have my platform, the embossing folder, and a plate. I have the older style, so I only need the one plate. I don't need the special blue plate. Alright. We're done with that piece for now. Let's go ahead and adhere that to the front of our card. So one last thing I have to fiddle with. And it's going to go inside, about 1/8 of an inch inside of those lines that we embossed in it. Okay, so there's the front of our card so far. We'll put that aside. Okay, now we're going to bring in that brown piece. We're going to add the thin die adapter. We're going to add a second cutting plate. And we're going to cut out the branch. Plate on top. My plates are pretty warped. some every day, so. All right. Pop that out. All right, I'm going to stick that right in there with this. Okay, now I'm going to set this aside for a while because we got to stamp some leaves. All right, so let's bring in our Stampin' and Pierce mat and some paper. And I'm going to first stamp this one with the Memento ink. So I need 6 of them. Don't fall on the floor. Oh, now that I got ink all over me. I could stamp them closer together. I just trying to make it easiest to line them up. Okay. I'm done with the Memento ink except for the sentiment. And let me go ahead and stamp that over here. I'm going to stamp that near the edge here. Awesome. Okay. It's a little bit crooked. I think it'll work fine, but let me turn it and see if I can get it straighter. Okay, much better. Wipe my hand off here so I don't get ink all over my card. Alright. Now, we're going to bring in this one, and you definitely need a cleaner for your stamps. The chamois works great for this. And we're going to stamp color one in each color, and I'm going to go ahead and start with the lightest one just because then there's no cross-contamination. I don't have to worry about. So I'm going to ink it up with the solid one. And I'm just going to hover over the image as best I can. Try to get it centered. And stamp. Okay, then I'm going to clean that off. Okay, let's go to the next color. Let's do pumpkin pie next. Pick another image here. Okay, wash it off. That one I didn't get exact, but that's alright. Let's go with real red. Take my time and line it up. Okay. Let's go with a granny apple next. Clean the stamp a little bit better. Stamp, Mossy Meadow, This one's harder to line up because it's a darker color. One more. Bermuda Bay. Okay. And that is all of our stamping. Okay, now I just need to take this frame and get it out of my magnetic bowl and line it up on here and run these through the die cutting machine. And I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be back when I'm finished. Okay, I'm back. I've now got all the sleeves cut out. I just have one other thing to do then, and that is to cut out my sentiment. And normally I use my snips, but for this I want to use a longer pair of scissors because I want to do a straight cut edge. So first I'm going to cut this edge like this. I'll cut this edge like this. And then I'm going to cut right straight up next to it, as close as I can to the thinking of you, to the top of the T. And I might have to trim it down a little bit because it looks like it's a little bit still too wide, so let's trim it down. It's easier to do with these longer handled scissors, and if it's a little wonky, that's alright too. Okay, so that's how I got my sentiment. Well, this is not very straight, but that's alright, we're going to go with it. Alright, let's get all these pieces out of the way. And let's bring in the card base and some glue dots. Now for the branch, we're going to glue that down with Tombow. The easiest way to use a Tombow on small things like this is probably with a sponge, but I have better control with just dabbing it on. And I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. I'm just going to dab in little spots of it. Don't need much. The reason I do it this way is because I have a hard time when I use the sponge with it not moving and getting ink, glue on the front of it. I don't like that. So, okay, so we're going to place this up here towards this top. Like that. Okay, we're going to put dimensionals on the back of each one of these leaves. I think I'll use 2 on the back of each. Rhyme to reason is how I do them. I think I have one that I left flat, but I already put the dimensionals on it. I can see if I can get them off. Yeah, that came off. Oh, there we go. And I also want some on the back of my sentiment. Just make sure they don't stick over the edge. Okay, let's put the sentiment on first so we know where it's going to go. So we know we have room for it. And that's going to go down here at this bottom edge. And that's about 1/8 of an inch from the bottom of the layer. Okay, now we're going to start with this teal one. That's going to go over here. So you don't want it to stick off the page. But that one's going to get glued directly down. So let's go ahead and glue that one down, and then we'll arrange the other ones. Okay. Now we want the dark green. Light green will go there. Orange will go here. Yellow goes here. The dark green will go here. So we're just kind of arranging them. And we'll start with the ones that are underneath. Okay. And they are going different directions. So normally I would do an odd number, but for this one it kind of looked good with the 5, or with the 6. I suppose I could add a 7th one, a purple one, but I didn't think purple leaves were. There we go. There's the card we just made together. Here's the one I did previously. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's craft table today. I hope you have a great rest of your day.